What's up, brewskis? My name is Marco Dupa. With me, as always, the great and powerful Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
What's up, brewskis?
Tonight's brew is from Magnanimous Brewing. It is Before the Rain. And Obi's going to have a little bit more about that after the break. What's on tap for tonight? It's a good healthy dose of trailer trash. So we got, first of all, finally a good look at the Lilo and Stitch live-action movie that's coming out. That's exciting.
Not just the preview that tricked a lot of old people during the Super Bowl.
Oh, right.
Thinking he was running around on the field.
God, they're so stupid. Old people and young people are dumb. It's just us.
We're the smartest.
Just millennials. Just right there in the middle. We're the smartest ones. The rest of you...
Hopeless.
I don't know what's
helpless.
Yeah. What else?
We also have The Last of Us Season 2 coming out. That's supposed to cover at least some of The Last of Us Part 2.
Can't wait for the anger for that. And then last but not least, we are going to take a deep dive into, well, as deep as we can get. We got a lot of content, but it kind of feels like we got nothing of the 10-minute trailer for Death Stranding 2.
Yes.
Is On the Beach the actual subtitle?
Yes.
Okay. Death Stranding 2. On the beach.
On the beach. By the beach.
By the beach. If I wasn't Jamaican, would I be wearing this hat? So let's get into some trailer trash. Let's get into these beers.
It's okay. Roll right through.
I just want to start over.
No.
But we won't. We will keep rolling because this is 454 of the One Beer In podcast.
Lost to be found by someone to save you when you're down. Yes, I'm bored when it's bright out. So bored when it's bright out.
I'm going to drink this. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drink this pretty fast.
Okay.
So,
Takes me to
better headspace.
Brought to you by Squarespace.
This is the One Beer In podcast, the podcast where two brews crack open a brew and we see where that one brew takes us. My name is Marco. That's Obi. Speaking of Obi, you want to tell the people a little bit more about what we're drinking tonight?
So glad you asked. This is Magnanimous Brewing's Before the Rain double dry hopped double India Pale Ale with Neslon and Citra hops. Magnanimous people have no vanity. They have no jealousy, and they feed on the true and the solid wherever they find it. And what is more, they find it everywhere. That is a quote from Van Wyck Brooks.
Okay.
Before the Rain is a double dry hopped, hazy double IPA with Neslon and Citra hops. And that's all we have.
All right. Right on. That's all we need. Good little cold read. We got the hops. Let's rock.
I will have to look up the ABV because it's not on the can.
Okay. Double IPA. What do you think? What do you guess?
8.
It's good. I'm gonna say 7.8. 7.8.
Okay.
We'll go just below.
Before the Rain.
Before the Rain. Yeah, you saw her trying to steal something, right?
Yes.
Standing on both feet.
She wanted
Like a human. Yeah, she was looking for something. She was over here.
Celine thinks she's people.
she likes rappers.
Yeah. Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Before the Rain is 8.5%
Damn.
ABV.
Okay. All right. You win. Closest to the pin.
Uh-huh.
All right, let's get into it. Some trailer trash. Let's start with Lilo and Stitch, the live action trailer.
Yes.
Hotly anticipated.
Oh, I thought you were going to do hi.
What's let's see your best Stitch.
Hi.
That's good. That's good.
Gotta get really throaty.
Yeah, you
get
gotta
back in there. He's got a little bit of scratch to it too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's not just doing the
I think anybody can do this thing.
right.
Yeah, it's not just that.
It's not, there's a little texture to
It's
it.
a little high. Hannah means family.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I got it. I think my voice is too high. So I think it goes higher. I think it's a person who's doing it whose voice is pretty low.
Yeah.
And gets up there, right? Anyway,
I think it's like Elmo, the guy who does Elmo.
yeah, his voice is pretty deep.
Yeah.
And he gets
Yeah.
I can do Elmo's laugh. I'm not gonna do it.
You want me to tickle you?
No, because I have to be like it's kind of a breathy laugh. You have to kind of lose a little bit of
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
You know, you
Yeah.
gotta-
Yeah. Good preview though. Good preview. Thank you.
So, Lilo and Stitch, live action, and the long line of live action Disney movies that have been coming out in these past couple years.
Yeah.
The thing is, this is finally one that actually has like people in it. They've
Yeah.
been doing this thing where
It's not just lions.
Yeah. And apparently the last Lion King movie, the Mufasa one, didn't have a very good opening weekend, but it ended at like $700 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it got better reviews than I thought it would.
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly, I haven't seen either one of the live action Lion Kings. There is absolutely, even if someone told me that it's a masterpiece,
Yeah.
there's just no reason that I have no inclination to go
No.
see like expressionless, like I just,
Pseudo realistic animals.
yeah, I just can't imagine for the life of me anyone on that cast doing better than the original voice
Jonathan
actors.
Taylor Thomas.
Yeah. And Jason Weaver, by the way.
Yeah.
The singing voice.
Yeah.
I mean, they knew it. That's why they were like, listen, we're not replacing James Earl Jones.
course
Let's
not.
just see if he'll do it again. Mm-hmm. So
He's got one more in him.
I'm not interested in any of these Disney live action movies, but I don't know. I will say I was thoroughly hooked by this trailer. I'm not going to front.
I hate to admit it, but I was as well.
It was cute.
Before the trailer, I was kind of questioning whether I even wanted to watch it, but I saw people talking about it. I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. And yeah, I mean, it looks good. Mm-hmm. Which is better than I can say about like the Lion King movies, which is better than I can say about like, you know, the live action Beauty and the Beast.
Or that Aladdin movie.
The Aladdin movie, the new Cinderella coming out.
Yeah.
Or Snow White,
Oh, the
excuse
Snow
me.
White, yeah, Snow White.
White.
No! Gal Gadot sucks.
Cut it out.
Oh, man. How does she keep getting movies? I don't get it.
Yeah. I mean, once you're Wonder Woman, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
It's because she's like unnaturally attractive. That's really all it is.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah. Well, she is. Yeah. I mean. Yeah. Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah. It's. But the thing is, like, it's one of those things where she continues. Like, there have been actors and actresses who have been like otherworldly attractive.
Yeah.
And they'll get movies and stuff, and then they usually kind of peter out, and then they show up on like, you know, Chicago Med or something,
Sure.
and you're like, yeah, that's where you belong. You know, doing 20 seasons of this mediocre
Yeah.
show, and you're like way too good looking for the occupation that you're stuck in.
Sure.
So even watching the show is kind of hard to believe, because it's like there's no way that this fire station is filled with this many good looking
With
people.
supermodels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are just ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're like, that person is
It's really distracting.
attractive for this job.
Really distracting.
I'm not calling firefighters ugly. In fact, they're, you know,
Oh, no.
they're usually really,
Oh,
you know, pretty good
absolutely
looking.
not.
But I'm
Yeah.
saying that there are some people on these shows that are like ridiculously
Yeah.
good looking.
Yeah.
Anyway, she continues to get work, and it is beyond me. It is for the life of me. I don't, because she's not even good in Wonder Woman, really.
Yeah,
She's okay. She's serviceable. Even to this day, I'm like, they could have cast someone not her.
With a personality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who, you know, I don't know, was believable as one of the strongest women in the universe.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Whatever. We're not here to litigate Wonder Woman.
You want a beefier gal.
I do. I
Yeah.
really do. I want somebody who looks. You know, if Gina Carano didn't suck, for instance, you know, I think she would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Although she's not a very good actress either.
No.
So there's that.
Yeah, if somebody of her like body type,
Yeah, but a better actress.
but a better actress and person,
Yeah.
then yeah.
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 Anyway, we're not talking about Wonder Woman. We're not talking about Snow White.
Nope.
We're talking about Lilo and Stitch.
Lilo and Stitch.
And I agree with you. It looks cute.
Yeah.
And it looks fun. And it looks like, you know, I think the fact that it does have people in it
Yeah.
helps a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, you're making a movie.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They seem to carry over the story well so far. It translates well. I mean, I don't know. It looks like it's working so far based on the trailer.
Yeah.
So, and I think Lilo and Stitch is an old enough property that like it's fresh to people. It's right in that sweet spot where, you know, parents of our age can now bring their kids and be like, yeah, I grew up with this. This is fun, right? Mm-hmm. So I think that's probably what their strategy is moving forward. Is just like, yeah, you know, keep doing the nostalgia thing. But
You know what I'll say about Lilo and Stitch too? That I mean works for Lilo and Stitch, the animated movie, and I think that is working in the favor of this movie. Is the animators of the movie of the first movie? They took really good care in like making them realistic. In a way that you hadn't seen in a lot of Disney movies. They weren't.
Yeah, they're like modern people.
Yeah, they
they're not
looked real.
princesses.
Yeah.
And you know, in these kingdoms and whatnot.
Right.
There's no magic.
And so I think people get way too hung up on the casting needing to be 1-to-1, which we are going to talk about with The Last of Us, obviously.
Sure.
And when people can't get out of the headspace of this is a property based on the thing that you love, it is not the thing that you love yet. You got to give them a chance.
Yeah.
You got to let them kind of see what they can do with this new thing. I mean, you don't want them to just recreate the thing that you're doing that you loved, right? You want them to do something new with it. And so I think that it was smart. Like, this is a good movie to use real people in.
Yeah.
Because they took really good care in saying, like, we're going to draw these people and make them, you know, look like real people.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and act like real people and be in realistic situations outside of obviously the alien invasion type thing.
Right. And I mean, like most Disney movies before Lilo and Stitch were these grandiose adventures,
fantasy.
Yeah, they were these unbelievable things that, like, you know, just didn't. They wouldn't translate 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Or at least they'd be harder to translate 1-to-1. But this is like, you know,
It can work as a live action movie.
Yeah.
Whereas it, you know, something like Beauty and the Beast, I think makes more sense to be animated.
Right.
Because you have a beast.
Right.
I mean, obviously you can make that live action thing. They've done it as TV shows. They've done it, you know, as plays and all these other things. But the nature of it alone, the Seven Dwarves, like, you know, there was that whole controversy about using little people or not, and they decided to make them animated. So it's like, kind of, what's the point of doing this when, again, we're in almost a Lion King situation?
Right.
Yeah.
And with Lilo and Stitch, if they had animated Stitch and then animated like Lilo and her sister, and it was just like a CG movie, then it'd be like, well, what the fuck are
What's
we
the
doing?
point? Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's the problem with some of these other ones, like Aladdin, for instance, is, I mean, very clearly shot in a giant like green screen factory.
Yeah.
And same with the Beauty and the Beast too. Like that movie, although it was well received, like it was a movie that looked like it was just shot in one of those. Anytime you see like now the Disney behind the scenes and they're in that big blue warehouse, and it's just like, it looks like like if you go to like a gymnast gym, and people can just jump off of different things, and
It's like the trampoline rooms or whatever.
Yeah, but it's all blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they just refuse to shoot on location now.
And just abuse everyone working to actually make it look like what it's supposed to look like.
Dude, there was a movie. Oh, fuck. Oh, it's gonna kill me now. But there was a movie. I think it was a Marvel movie. Fuck. All right. I don't remember which movie it was, but
Captain
it was
America.
It wasn't Captain. Well, maybe it was Captain America. Was it Captain America? There was a movie, and I think it's a Disney. I know it's a Disney movie, and I think it might have been a Marvel movie. I'm like 80% sure it was a Marvel movie.
Okay.
And it was like shot. Like there was some stuff that like very clearly could have just been on location, and they were like, "Nah, we're not going to shoot on location. We're just going to shoot." It was like. It was not in the middle of a war-torn city or a place where like a bunch of shit needed to happen. It was just on a set where like characters were talking, and it was all blue screen.
They definitely. I mean, this is only a Marvel thing, but they definitely did that for the second Spider-Man movie. When
Maybe it was the Spider-Man movie.
What's his name? The bully kid.
Flash.
Flash. Yes. He was. It was almost a post-credit scene, I think, where it was like, at the end of the movie, he was talking to his dad or something about the car that he took, and that it got messed up or whatever. Like, it looked horrible, and it's because none of it was real.
Yeah,
and very clearly, none of it was real.
Yeah,
the lighting sucked. The entire scene itself looked so flat. And horrible. And it's like, just go on a street.
Yeah,
just it doesn't even have to be New York. Go to like. Universal Studios,
right,
and go in the back lot or whatever and just film something real quick.
Well, they always talk about how they do that to save money, right? But then the budget for these movies is always ballooned to like $300-400 million, and you're like, well, what are you paying for then? If you're doing all this shit on a green screen because you don't want to pay to shoot on location, then what the fuck? Where is all this money going?
Well, that's what they were talking about with the latest Russo brothers movie.
Oh yeah, the Netflix. Yeah, it's $320 million.
Right.
Netflix just shelled out. Couldn't make a David Lynch movie.
No, of course
not.
But
$320 million.
Yeah.
For a Chris Pratt, Millie Bobby Brown vehicle.
Yeah. That's gotten panned and apparently is not very good.
Well, and that's why I'm like, when we were talking about the Russos coming back for the Avengers movies, and it's like, yeah, they're good at Avengers movies. But everything that they've done post-Avengers has me scared about what they're about to bring back to the Avengers, because it feels like they lost their way. It feels like they don't know what the fuck to do anymore. Yeah. It feels like when a big studio is like, hey, it's the Russos. We're just going to throw them a couple $100 million.
Do whatever you got to do, guys.
Yeah.
You know what you're doing, right?
I just feel like, it's a retread, and I'm scared. I just don't think that I don't think they got the Midas touch no more.
I have no faith. Because the last good thing they did was what made them really famous. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. But that's a different story.
They've done nothing of note since Endgame.
Yeah.
And that's crazy.
Yeah. However, Lilo and Stitch, I will say, on record, this trailer is not trash.
Not trash.
Yeah.
No,
actually made me slightly excited for the movie.
I was surprised at myself. I was... This actually looks...
Yes.
This looks pretty good.
Yes.
And the jokes look like they're going to land.
Yeah.
And, it looks quippy and fun and still emotional. Lilo and Stitch will make you cry. I don't care how old you are.
Get prepared.
It is a very emotional movie.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm into it.
Agreed.
Not trash.
Not trash.
All right. Death Stranding.
Yes.
2. On the beach.
On the beach. So we should be clear. Marco has not finished Death Stranding 1.
No,
you did play a little bit?
I played a little bit.
Okay.
But I have not finished it.
So you're kind of familiar with like...
Not really.
Okay.
I'll say that I honestly put like 2 hours into it a long time. Like
I'm tired of walking.
I was like... I kind of just picked it up. And I was like, I'm going to play this. And then I played it for a little bit, and I was like, I got something else. I don't remember what it was, but something else like pulled me away, and then I just never picked it back up.
Yeah.
And that was it. So basically, I know next to nothing.
Yes.
But I do really, really want to like sink the hours into it. I'm genuinely interested and have the genuine desire to finish this game.
I will tell you, now is a better time than ever, and that goes for everyone listening too, because one of the main things, like one of the key elements of this game is, if you don't know, you're essentially a delivery man, and what you do is you try to traverse this giant area as safely and efficiently and quickly as possible to make deliveries. However, one of the coolest elements is that whatever you build, so like roads, bridges, you can leave behind ladders, ropes, things like that to help you traverse the land. You do these things and invest in making essentially your own like highway system in the game, and it leaves it there for other people online to use as well. And part of it is like this social network style thing where people like give you props for making a really helpful bridge.
I had no idea that was a part of the game.
Yeah. And so the more that people have played it, essentially the more help you get.
Yeah.
So now that we're in a place where the game's been out for a few years, people played the hell out of it. It's a great time to jump in because now a lot of these places are easier to get through.
I mean, it's literally like the new game is like, we're connected now.
Yeah.
But was that a mistake?
Right. And that's one of the most interesting elements of this trailer because Death Stranding 1, to a lot of people's chagrin, is not combat focused.
Yeah.
I mean, there is combat. You can get in fights, but there is massive incentive to go through it peacefully.
Yeah.
Especially without killing anyone. That's a major thing in the game. I won't ruin like story-wise why, but it's a big no-no to kill somebody in this universe, in this world.
Yeah. Well, you are basically just a postal worker.
Yeah. But,
maybe you shouldn't go around killing people.
Yes. However, there are lots of dangers out there and people who try to steal your stuff and things like that. So you will get into fights eventually. And sometimes, like, there may be a package that you have to steal back from somebody. And so you have to go covert and, like, go around and find a way to grab it without getting into a fight. And you can get into a fight, and eventually you can get good enough to just, like, pacify people without killing them.
Yeah.
But
stop.
Yeah. Cut it out.
Don't. Don't.
What's that from?
Fuck, what is that from? Oh, Pineapple Express.
Right.
Don't.
But yeah, so a lot of people were like, it's boring, it's a walking simulator, yada yada
Yeah,
yada.
that was the prevailing joke, that
Right.
it's a walking sim.
Right. But I will say the first game was such a time and place thing because it came out just before the pandemic.
Yeah.
And in a scary coincidence, the game is essentially about there being a global pandemic.
Yeah.
And people not being able to leave their houses, and that's why delivery people are so important. And it was like, oh, wow. That's extremely on the nose if this came out a year after the pandemic came
Yeah.
out. It came out before the pandemic. So it's like, whoa.
Right.
This is scary.
Right.
But in a way, it was like really... It was like the perfect time for it to come out because people did sink a ton of time to the game and develop these connections. And the game is all about connections, making connections, reconnecting the USA to itself by making these deliveries and continuing to like expand this network is your main goal in the game. And so, yeah, very timely. And so a lot of people really got into it, including myself. And this next game, according to the trailer, it seems to be more so about we're connected, but should we be?
Yeah.
And Kojima in recent interviews, because this trailer was debuted at South by Southwest, and they've had like panel discussions and interviews and stuff. And one of the things that Kojima said was like, this was highly inspired by real life and how we are reconnected now after the pandemic, but look at the state of the world.
Yeah.
You know, like now that we're connected, it seems like violence and war is more prevalent, and these dangers are you know, more at the forefront than they were when we were all locked up and separated and all these things. So I find that really interesting, and also a really interesting take from Kojima, who, if you don't know, is famous for doing the Metal Gear series, which is all about war. And, you know,
It's all about war.
war never changes.
War never changes.
War always changes. I don't remember.
I don't remember the line.
Meryl. Yeah, so a guy that kind of made his name based off of war is now having a discussion with himself and his own property, formerly his own property, I should say. And, you know, we see at the end of this trailer, there's a clear homage to Metal Gear.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, couldn't be more overt.
Well, and Hideo Kojima himself has said that actor, the Italian guy, I forget his name, would be the perfect look for a live action Solid Snake. So he's on record as saying that. So it's no coincidence that we see that actor, I mean, basically in Metal Gear cosplay.
Yeah, yeah.
By the end of
I mean, there's no
game.
reason, like, the iconic, like, full forehead
Bandana.
You know, yeah. Because, like I'm coincidentally, I'm wearing one now, if you're not watching.
Yeah.
And it doesn't cover all the way to my eyebrows.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't need to. Hold on. I'm gonna do the Metal Gear.
Metal Gear.
Give me 2 seconds. But continue. I'm gonna do the full Metal Gear on this
Yeah,
one.
you're gonna go full
so you guys
Metal Gear.
understand? Like, I kind of have a big forehead though.
You can make it.
It's normal.
You can make it.
It's a normal forehead.
It's a normal forehead. It's not a five head. I
not
have
a
a bigger
five head.
forehead than you. I was going for more of a Goldblum, but yeah.
Oh, is that what that was? Yeah, but it's got to cover the eyebrows. There it is.
Yeah.
This is like, if you're watching,
It's almost Cholo.
it is.
Yeah.
And you know, yeah, this is it. So it's like all the way down. Hold on, let me wow, that's weird. Let me put this back up. Yeah, it's like all the way down.
Yeah.
Right.
And you can somehow see the wrinkles of his forehead
yeah,
as he emotes through the
any
bandana.
sense.
The
But yeah.
Solid Snake.
But that's the Solid Snake right there. I'm
Yeah.
actually keep doing that. But anyway, so it's very clearly on purpose.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. And there's speculation that will be one of the villains of the game. So in a way, you're kind of fighting against a former hero.
Oh,
that
don't make me
Kojima-
do that, Kojima.
Yeah, created. So
Don't do that.
I don't know. We'll see. You know, other people are speculating that that's going to be like a second playable character, and his will be more of like the combat style, and we'll get more of the ordinary Death Stranding delivery with Norman Reedus.
And you know, honestly, doing that is not outside the realm of possibility for Kojima, because like it's literally what he did with Metal Gear Solid 2,
Yeah.
having multiple characters and having them have like different. Why is this? I can't seem to fold this right. It's killing me. Having multiple characters, having different play styles,
Yeah.
and having like different responsibilities within the game.
Sure.
Like, so I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
If he's like, listen, Norman Reedus' character is going to continue being like the walking sim,
He's the baby man.
but listen, we heard your complaints, and what we're going to do is we're going to give you guys what you've been asking for,
Yeah.
which is a full-on assault game.
Right.
Which is like, you know, I tend to believe that we shouldn't bow down to babies complaining about stuff, but
I don't think Kojima would ever do that.
I don't know.
I don't think he would.
I don't know. I don't
And
know.
I mean, I pose the 10-minute trailer as evidence, Your Honor, that he would not do that, and he would, especially as the head of Kojima Productions and no longer part of Konami. I think he's set to do whatever he wants to do.
Yeah.
I just think that he wants to make more Metal Gear, and I think he's just trying to find a way to do that without having to either pay Konami or make a deal with them, or go back. God forbid. Because that bridge is burned. But
and good,
Yeah, I for one, I was disappointed with Death Stranding 1 at first because I'm like, this is not Metal Gear. And then I gave it a chance. I really gave it a chance, and I was like, okay, it's not supposed to be.
Right.
And it's far more interesting that he decided to make this game instead of, another kind of espionage thriller type deal.
Yeah. Well, in retrospect too, had he done that, people would have just been like, all right, this is like all he's got is these espionage games, and this is just a weirder slant on the shit that he's already done, as opposed to him going like, I'm gonna go in a completely different direction. I'm gonna fuck everybody's heads up, and then maybe we'll come back later and do something that you guys want to play.
Yeah.
Or you guys are anticipating, rather.
He has announced that he's going to do, like, essentially another Metal Gear style game.
Yeah.
So that's coming for people who want it from him.
Yeah.
So that leads me to also believe that Death Stranding 2 is going to be another one of these, like, ambitious, weird experiences.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I have to get the Snake Eater remake.
Yeah.
I apologize, but he made a masterpiece, and I hate that he doesn't have control over that, and I hate that he's not releasing it.
Yeah.
But I do need it. That's just the long and short of it.
Yeah.
That's as far as my activism goes. I have to get it.
So like you, I went ahead and picked up the Metal Gear collection.
Oh, you did?
It hasn't come yet, but I found it on sale physically.
Nice.
So I'm grabbing that, and what I think I'll do is play through the trilogy for the first time in a while, and from then decide if I want to get the remake.
What's the hesitation?
I mean, kind of what you said. I don't want to support Konami in that way because of their short-sightedness with cutting ties with Kojima.
Yeah.
And also, without him, I feel like there is no guarantees on quality.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I also think that any new property I won't be buying because
Sure.
I don't trust them to do anything
Yeah.
as ambitious, as fun, as silly. Which, by the way, I had a point that I was going to make about Metal Gear Solid versus Death Stranding versus real life. Kojima has always used his video games to kind of like pose these questions that he has about like what's actually going on in real life, and like these philosophical questions about like warfare and everything. Even in the games, speaking of Snake Eater, Metal Gear 3, there is, spoiler alert, it's not a huge spoiler, but there's a boss fight where this is one of the coolest, and he's just an expert at boss fights.
It's what he does.
There is one boss fight where you're kind of walking through, and you're seeing the souls of all these people that you've interacted with, and you realize as you're walking through that these are the characters that you've killed in the game, and
animals
and animals.
Yeah.
And so you could go through the game not murdering anybody, not killing anybody, if you're careful enough, if you're really Solid Snake enough, or Naked Snake enough. And I do find that's interesting, and again, that's going to kind of come back later with The Last of Us, but this the ludonarrative dissonance of Metal Gear Solid and video games in general. Kojima like really kind of played around with that, because you make a game like that and you kind of have to give people the option to just go guns a-blazing or whatever. But it is interesting to kind of throw that back in the player's face and go like, did you need to do that?
Yeah.
No, you didn't need to do that.
Well, and those games have always been more about sneaking and trying to be as covert as possible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there's nobody got choked out. I fucking murdered everybody.
Yeah.
I didn't like shoot them, but they all got choked to death.
Well, you break their neck.
I break their neck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody was like, because I didn't want to have to come back around the corner and then have them like, wake up later.
And you know why? You're weak. And that's Kojima's point. It's harder to protect life than it is to take a life.
Yeah, it's real easy to take a life in these
Yeah.
games, and more fun.
Death is easy. Life is hard. 50 Cent. Thank you. Yeah. I find that continuing within Death Stranding to be awesome.
Yeah.
And I am really excited to see what essentially like what I would consider the best and biggest auteur in video games.
Yeah.
To see what else he has to say. Even if the game isn't what I want or is expecting, or it's weird and something that I could never have thought of wanting to play. Regardless of what he comes out with, I trust that he's going to have, some nugget of unique and interesting statements to make in this game. So that was only underlined for me in watching this 10-minute trailer.
Let's talk about the fact that it's a 10-minute trailer.
And, you say that like I should be surprised, but I was not. The guy is a budding filmmaker in the making. And clearly his aspirations go beyond video games, and he wants to make a major motion picture. He's been not shy about saying that. And all of his, big-time director friends and actors. So
yeah, I mean, and the fact is that like in Death Stranding 1 and 2 now he's used, real actors. And
Hollywood actors.
Yeah. This game is just, using them as play models and not even making them look any different.
No.
So
I mean, even someone like Troy Baker, who's known as a voice actor, is like his likeness is right there. So.
Troy Baker wants so badly to be recognized as an actor.
Absolutely. I mean, he was in Last of Us season 1.
He wants it.
Yeah.
He wants it bad.
Yeah.
I had this feeling, man, when I see him talk about stuff and just the way that he comes off.
He is like such a theater kid guy.
Yeah.
That it's like, oh yeah, he gets off on this stuff.
Yeah, he loves it. He loves it.
He wants to be up there on stage.
He definitely does.
Yeah.
And I think he wants to be on screen. I think he wants people to recognize him
as an actor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably between him, Nolan North, and I mean, those are the two like titans of video game voice acting, not just not voice acting in general. I mean, there's obviously like a lot of famous voice actors, but I think in video game voice acting, they have to be like the two biggest names.
Yeah.
So I think like he's got the notoriety there, but I do think that he would like to be like, I'm Troy Baker, the actor,
right,
the auteur.
Well, that was funny you bring that up because the internet was getting upset at the fact that Deborah Ann Wilson.
Yeah.
What was she in again? She was in the Star Wars game,
she was
right?
in the Jedi games, Fallen Order, Survivor.
Yeah. Saying that, she's in everything. Seeing her, it's like, buddy?
Yeah, dude, I mean, like...
out of everyone to call out...
Yeah, it's her.
You're not gonna point out Troy Baker,
the
guy who's in like 10 games a year.
Yeah, and I mean, like, listen, I like Troy Baker.
Yeah, I think he's good.
I think he's fantastic. But I will say, I don't know. I feel like this may be an unpopular opinion, but whenever he is tasked with replacing someone, I don't think he does that good of a job.
You brought this up with Indiana Jones,
and I stand by it.
Yeah,
I don't think he's that good. I don't think that he nails the voice.
I respect that. But again, I said this off mic. I'll say it for the mic. For you. I think he did as good a job as someone could do with Indiana Jones.
Sure. I agree with that. He did as well as anyone could.
It's an impossible task.
Exactly. Which, although now that I've played it and enjoyed it and want to play it more, and I know it's coming out soon on PlayStation.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't wait, and I'm gonna get it. So I don't really know how to say this.
Okay.
I was gonna say this game shouldn't have even been made, but now I'm like, fuck, I want to play it.
It's a good game.
It's a good game
Unfortunately,
so far.
it's a good game.
So good.
Yeah.
So I want to play it. But yeah, I
It's impossible not to make a comparison to Harrison Ford, though.
well, okay, so that, and then I'm thinking also of Batman, where he was supposed to be Joker in Origins.
Right.
Right? I think it's Origins, Batman Origins, the first one, the prequel. They did Arkham Origins.
It was the third game.
Yeah.
But it was a prequel.
But yeah, before
by the
Night
other
came out.
team.
Yeah. And I don't think he was that good as Joker. I don't think he was that good. So, I mean, he played a good Joker, but he did not replace Mark Hamill. And again, it's the same conversation.
Yeah.
Well, nobody can be
Sure.
Mark Hamill. Sure. Then don't fucking hire him. Just hire Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill's not dead. He's still
No,
alive, and he's
he
still
is.
playing Joker. I
Yeah.
mean, he was before
Right,
Kevin
right.
Conroy, rest in peace.
Yes, of course.
So you could have just got fucking Mark Hamill to do it. But anyway, I digress. I think it's, to bring to back to your point about how this post that has gone viral about Deborah Wilson and being upset about her being in it and everything. She is basically just an actor having a really good 2 years.
Yeah.
This would be the same thing as any actor, like Timothée Chalamet being in a bunch of shit last year. Every actor, every really good, talented actor who books a lot of jobs has that 1 or 2 years where they go nuts, and you're like, damn, that motherfucker in everything. Tom Hardy had his big year a couple years ago. Scarlett Johansson was in a bunch of shit in 1 year. Like that's just how these things go.
I don't know why I add the and. It's just Deborah Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know where you pull that one either.
Yeah.
I think there is a Deborah Ann Wilson as an actress as well.
There's a Deborah Ann something.
Let's find this out. This is more important.
Deborah Ann Wall.
Oh, okay.
Of course. Yeah.
What's her face?
From Punisher. Yeah.
So everybody has their moment where they're in a bunch of shit. Deborah Wilson is a talented actor
Who's been acting for decades.
for years.
She's been around forever.
Yeah. So now that she's in a now, by the way,
Mad
it's
TV,
not-
my friends.
Right.
Are you
I fucking
kidding?
forgot about that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Dude, so now that she's in a handful of high-profile video games, all of a sudden she's in everything, quote unquote.
there's
They
too
just
many.
keep putting her in everything. They don't put her in shit. She earns her spot.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with anybody else. But to your point,
Oh, is this a DEI thing? Is that what people are doing?
yeah, it's a DI thing. That's what they're doing.
Boo.
Yeah, it's always the same stupid argument where it's like, person of color, mostly black people.
Oh, I'm
and it's a
tired of
DEI
seeing that
thing.
lady
Yeah.
for reasons.
I commented on a this is off topic, but kind of on topic. I commented on a rewatchables video because they were talking about Philadelphia, I believe, the movie Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And they had a guy on. Fuck, I forgot his name, but he's a black intellectual. He's gay. He's into classical, music. No, he is gay though, and I bring that up because like he has
Major element of Philadelphia. The movie,
right
yeah.
exactly. So the race element,
Yeah.
the sexual element of it, all of that stuff. Like he has this opinion on it that I thought was going to be very in depth. And really kind of understanding, but listening to it, like I don't know, he would ask a lot of questions and like he would say things that I was just like, how do you not get what's going on here, man? He had a lot of questions about Denzel's performance and how, just the choices that Denzel's character made, and I was just like, I don't understand, like what? How do you not get this, right?
Yeah.
So I commented on the YouTube. You can probably go find it. And I commented on the video itself, and I was just like, this guy. He has all the credentials. I'm listening to him. He's very clearly an intellectual. It's surprising to me that he doesn't understand where Denzel's character is coming from, being gay, being black, coming from where he comes from. Like,
Sure.
how do you not get what he? And then somebody else commented. They responded to me, and they were like, they were like, yeah, he's a fucking DEI hire.
Jesus
That's why he's on
Christ.
the show.
Jesus
That's why he's on the
Christ.
show. Not like Van. Van's another black guy. It's like
Yeah.
Van is a straight shooter. He's throwing fastballs over the plate. This guy's a fucking DEI guy. And I was like, whoa. I'm going to respond to him and just be like, hey, buddy, listen. Miss me with that DEI bullshit. Like, that is not what the fuck I was talking about.
Sit down, my friend.
I am talking about all three of these men on the same level. They all earned their spot. I just disagree.
Right. You can disagree without thinking the person doesn't belong there.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's fucking nuts. And it's like that's the thing that they bring it up now with everything. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's something that they don't like,
It's just an
woke
acceptable
or DEI.
slur.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
It's just
acceptable
a DEI
slur.
hire. Kamala Harris, DEI.
DI. Yeah. She's too stupid.
Anyway,
She was blowing guys to get that position.
So-
Vice president.
fucked her way to the top.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Can you imagine if it was that easy?
You just gotta blow
You know how
some
much
dudes.
sex I would have
Yeah.
if all I had to do was fuck my way to the top?
Yeah.
That's it?
Sure.
Easy. I would do that.
Yeah.
Kidding me?
Ask Lauren Boebert about that.
Ah, bing, bang, boom.
We're not getting political here.
We're not getting political.
We're not getting political. I did nothing wrong.
I did nothing.
And they indicted me.
Yeah, so I think it's silly to be upset with Deborah Wilson being in this. I mean, and I'm sure that she has like a bit role in it. It's crazy to see her in the thing and just be like, why is she in everything? I'm so
You
angry.
again.
Ah,
Yeah.
Why is this working actress getting more work? Pisses me off. And then see Troy Baker in the next scene and have no opinion on him. Like, bro, do you see what you're doing? And then they're like, yeah, but Deborah doesn't, like, she doesn't change her appearance and all these things. She looks exactly the same. She's not really a voice actor. And I would say, number one, you're right. She is in all of these things, and they use her face in all of these things. She has a very distinct look to her, and most of these game developers are probably like, let's base the character around Deborah's look because she's very distinct looking.
Yeah.
And
it's good to have like a real life model,
right,
to base something off of.
And she puts on a very good performance in everything that she does. So let's just let that ride out. That's enough. Troy Baker, contrary to what some of you nerds think, like, look at all the shit that he's been in. There's been plenty of properties where he just is Troy Baker in the thing, not the stuff that he starred in. You know, obviously Joel and the Joker, and things like that. They don't model them after his face, but he's been in plenty in Death Stranding.
Yeah,
it's modeled after him.
Sure. And you know, I think even in things that you wouldn't expect, like the what's the game called? The early PlayStation 3 game, the superhero one in Seattle.
Infamous?
Yes, the infamous Second Son. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Where he's playing like a Native American teenager.
Yeah.
Or like a early 20-year-old.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like Troy
Yeah,
Baker.
yeah. His face model is definitely reminiscent of Troy Baker.
And
There's
it
no
makes
way that the
sense.
animators didn't at least use him as a basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. Like it makes their job easier, and it makes the acting that they're doing more effective.
Yeah. So, you know, get over yourself.
Fight your battles.
It's
Like,
not going to change
Let it
anything.
go.
I think these people are going to be upset about shit like that regardless.
Yeah.
But I do wish that these conversations could be about anything but that.
Yeah.
I hate that this is where we are with certain things. You see a black person in a thing, and it's like, DEI. It's like, man, if you only knew what DEI actually was. Anyway, let's move on.
Okay. Not trash. Not trash.
Well, 10 minutes. It's not trash. It's not trash. But I just want to make one more point about the fact that it's 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
It was like a reverse of whenever you go see a movie and there's like 10 studios that are involved and you're just like, when is it going to start?
Yeah.
It kept getting to a point where I like, all right, that's it.
That's
And then
the
it just
end.
kept coming back.
No.
And I was like, are we going to get, I thought we were going to get gameplay footage, which we kind of got. Sort of.
Yeah. There was some.
Yeah. But it took a little minute, and I was like, oh, here it is. And
Yeah.
then, you know, it seemed like you would see a logo, and it'd be like Kojima Studios, and you're like, all right, we're done. And it would just come back. I'm like, all right, I guess we're here. We're still going.
Another verse from Woodkid.
That's funny. He's apparently the composer of the music in the
Him and
Ludwig
Ludwig something.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I will say the 10 minutes kind of breezed by. It didn't feel like a super long trailer.
Well, it's just hitting you with like these indescribable cinematic shots of stuff that you're like, huh? What? Huh?
Right, because that's the thing. 10 minutes. You would think that if you watched the 10-minute trailer for a movie, you would be like, well, I watched the entire movie.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. There's nothing else to see.
You'd be wrong in this case.
Yep. I don't know what the game's about. I still don't know what the game's about.
No. You get themes. You get enemies. You get hints at what I assume would be boss battles. You see that there's these giant monsters, and you can, I don't know. It seems like you're gonna mind meld in like a Pacific Rim way.
Yeah.
With one of these monsters to fight other monsters, which is interesting. Showed combat. Again, some like flashes of themes and ideas about ropes. The more ropes you have, the more sticks you need. Who knows, man?
The more ropes you have, the more sticks you need.
Yeah, which is apparently what Kojima did was take it from a playwright, a Japanese playwright, who made a play called the Stick. The Stick, I think it is. Where it is about that, like, you know, which is something you'll find in Death Stranding 1. It's like you have ropes and you have sticks. Ropes connect people, sticks harm people and fight people.
Okay.
And that's basically the theme of the entire game.
All right.
So that's what they're talking about.
All right.
Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
Who can say?
Who can say?
Who can say?
All
I'm
we
excited.
can say, not trash.
Not trash. Not trash. We got one more.
We got one more, and let's do it because we're gonna probably delve back into the waters we were just in for a little bit.
Yeah. Speaking of video games.
It's The Last of Us Season 2.
Yeah.
Teaser sort of trailer for the next season. And if you've played the video game, there's all of these hallmarks of like, you know what's about to happen. You know what's going on. You know what they're doing, what they're setting up. If you haven't played the video game, actually, I would be really, really interested in talking with somebody who hasn't played the video games, who doesn't know what's about to happen.
Yeah.
And like their perspective on the trailer.
Yeah.
For instance, that would be because the way that they kind of set things up is it's kind of like wink, wink.
Yeah. You know what's happening.
Yeah.
You know what's coming.
So yeah, I'd be really interested to see like people who are just watching the TV show going like, is there something that I'm missing? What's going on here?
That is what I'm going to use my brother for. Because he watched the first season and enjoyed it.
Never played the game.
Never played the game.
Did your brother play any video games other than like Madden?
I will say, other than my parents, he's the reason why I got into video games.
Oh, okay.
So in our
What do you mean other than your parents? They bought the games.
well, no, here's the deal, man. My parents came around when the original NES came out, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they played like Atari and stuff before then, and Pong and whatnot in arcades. My dad loved pinball when he was younger.
He's a pinball wizard.
But they bought an NES.
For themselves?
Yeah, before I was even born. They bought an NES. And so I grew up with that NES in my room because I assumed they played Mario once or twice and I was like, all right, got it.
That's crazy.
Because we had the Mario and Duck Hunt bundle.
Right.
So, you know, I grew up playing that. Yeah. Don't shoot the dog. I loved it. It was in my room growing up. Literally, like, I could stare at it from the bunk bed. It was right there. And that's what started it all. Then when I got older, they got my brother an SNES. Then they got him a N64. Then when I got old enough, they got me a PlayStation. And from then, I basically just got as many of the systems as I possibly could moving forward.
Right,
that I was
right.
interested in. So,
Interesting.
it's their fault.
Yeah.
So,
My parents didn't give a flying fuck about video games.
yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I think it was partially because, they were in New York and there were arcades.
Yeah.
So that was like a thing to do. So they would, when they were younger in their like 20s, they would go and play pinball and Donkey Kong and all of those like classic old games that you think of when you think of like the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
And so they love Pac-Man. That was their favorite. Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah.
Galaga.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're gonna use your brother as the litmus test for
Yes.
his reaction
Because he hasn't played a game since N64.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Crazy.
We got in Mario 64 and GoldenEye,
Yeah.
and that's where he tapped out.
He's like, I'm done.
He's like, I'm good with that.
I gotta hit the gym.
Oh, he had a Game Boy too, an original Game Boy.
He did.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So had Tetris on that.
And he played it in between sets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that will be interesting for the people who do know what's going on.
Yes.
Or what's about to go on. Let's talk about that. We don't have to spoil anything.
Okay.
I mean, play the game or don't play the game or just be prepared. But we're not going to talk about any spoilers for the second season. We're gonna talk about this from just looking at the trailer itself.
Yeah.
Right? No, it's kind of hard though. It's kind of hard to do that because we know what's about to happen, and so it's hard to separate that knowledge.
Okay. What I'm suggesting here is we do a spoiler warning for Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
And because this is our last topic,
Yeah.
if you haven't played the game, I implore you, skip to our Cheers of the Week,
Yeah.
and you'll be safe.
Yeah.
If you have played the game and beaten the game,
Then you sit tight.
you're safe.
Don't fucking turn this off.
Okay, let's give them 5.
If you turn this off,
5,
4,
4,
12,
3,
3,
2,
1.
1. Okay. We're good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I am excited to see how they handle it. How they handle it in general, how they handle everything, because there's some stuff I've already seen, like side by side shots of certain images from the game versus the stuff from the trailer.
Yeah.
Really interesting to see what they're gonna do with that. I mean, man, I can't wait, dude. I can't wait for the internet to explode.
It's like when
it happens.
I imagine this is what people who read Game of Thrones felt like before the Red Wedding
right
came out.
Just waiting
Just
for
like,
people to be
oh
like,
boy,
man, you guys have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty, I think, similar to what's going to happen.
Well, the one thing that you can't do is, because there was a lot of talk, like Druckmann and some of the people who worked on the TV show, where like, don't get comfortable and don't get used to this idea that it's going to be a one-to-one shot for shot remake of the game.
I heard that in recent interviews too. They made sure to underline, like, look, things are going to be different. Even if you've seen, or even if you've played the game, you will still be surprised by certain things that happen.
But I just can't imagine they don't kill Joel.
They are 100% killing Joel. Joel is dead.
You didn't know this?
Joel is so dead.
She didn't.
You watched me play the game.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah, Sherry watched me play the game.
I didn't.
Said I didn't. I didn't.
If I was staring at the TV, I wasn't watching.
Oh, well, sorry. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, so Joel is dead.
Joel's dead.
100%.
In a really, really gruesome way.
Yeah.
I mean,
we won't get into details on
No,
that.
I'm gonna get. They beat him to death. They beat him to death with a golf club.
Golf club, yeah.
Smash his brains out.
Yep. In front of Ellie.
Yeah. They trick him into helping them, and
yeah.
then they beat him to death.
Well, no, he helps out of his own, the kindness of his heart.
Well, yeah, of course, but they tricked him into thinking that they didn't have ulterior motives.
So, initially, she needed to be saved.
All right, I guess there is that part of the game where you do have to actually save her.
Yes, she was actually in danger, and
That's true.
He
right.
goes out of his way to help her, and she goes, "Wait a minute,
Right.
You're Joel."
Oh, right.
Because he introduces himself. He goes, "I'm Joel."
Well, no, but they were tracking him.
Yes, but it just so happened that they came across each other at that time when.
Okay,
where,
right. Okay,
Where
okay.
What's her name?
Abby.
Abby needed to be saved,
Right,
or needed
okay.
help at least.
Right. So he legitimately does save her.
Yes.
And then when they're like,
And then,
who are you?
And
again?
she's like, "Come on, let's
Yeah.
come to this safe place that I know of."
okay. And then they kill him.
And he knows better.
Sherry,
He knows
they
better.
murder him.
Yeah.
No, look at me. Look at me.
Look at me.
Look at me. They kill him.
Yeah.
They beat him to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah.
Sets up a whole 80 hours of
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
of revenge.
Yes. Yeah. So,
I mean, once the game's spoiled, I'm sorry. I just,
yeah.
huh? Yeah, Pedro's gonna die.
Pedro is
in
gone.
a bad way, probably. Hopefully, honestly. Here's the thing. I'm not like I'm not like hoping that, bad. I already know what's gonna happen, so there's no shock there for me. I'm waiting to see how they handle it. So there's a little bit of advantage for me as somebody who doesn't look forward to terrible things happening to characters that I love.
Well, they shoot his kneecaps off first.
Yeah. So then he goes down.
Yeah, and then Ellie comes up and
Yeah.
they murder him in front of her.
She watches it happen.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a really terrible
Yeah.
scene.
But that's the impetus for the entire game.
Right.
And we see Abby's side of the story,
Mm-hmm.
and we of course already know Ellie's side. Mm-hmm. So
Yeah. No, it's gonna be really interesting because like Last of Us 2 is basically 2 games in one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so how do you handle that in a
Narratively.
8 to 9 episode season? I think you do 3 seasons, and I think you do 1 season filled with one character's perspective, and then you do the next season with the other character's perspective.
that would be smart.
right.
Now, according to the showrunners and everyone involved with the show, they planned, all things going as they hope, that they won't get to the end of part 2 game in the story until season 4.
Season 4.
Yeah. So, but that leads
You do the entire first game in one season?
that leads credence to what you're saying, though, because
Right,
you
okay,
figure,
true, yeah, all
you
right.
figure, the game or
You're right,
the
I'm right.
the show, yeah. No, I'm not upset anymore. I'm right.
I am right.
No, but like it can get up to like Ellie finding all of the friends that she needs to do her vengeance tour,
Right.
and then
Vengeance Tour.
yeah, that's what she does.
Vengeance Tour 95.
Yeah, and then it cut off like when she lets I keep forgetting her name,
Abby.
go.
Right.
And
Oh, you
then
mean like when she's like fighting her in the
in the theater?
Oh,
Yeah.
in the theater. Okay,
Yeah.
right.
And that's the end of season 2.
Right.
Season 3 picks up where we get the same timeline from Abby's perspective.
Yeah.
Season
And then you see all the
4
Abby stuff.
Yeah, season 4 is when Abby starts her like vengeance tour, gets captured. Like that one can be split up in 2 because
Right.
then we can get half Abby, half Ellie,
Right.
and have them meet at the end, and that be the ultimate conclusion kind of thing.
Yeah.
.
All I'm looking forward to is seeing that big dude punch that kid into the garage.
Yes.
If they don't reshoot that, I'll be so disappointed. It's one of my favorite things ever.
Oh, so good.
Man, the first time I saw that,
The
I had
conch.
to pause the game, and I was like, what the fuck? And I thought that I was the only one who noticed
Oh,
how
no.
violent that was.
No.
And then when it went viral, I was like, okay, that makes sense, because this was great.
They made all the animated versions.
Dude, yeah,
Oh,
that one where
God.
it's like...
His head just smacks the back
boom,
of it.
and then he just drops like a fucking sack of potatoes, man.
Out.
I'm like, damn, that was crazy. Somebody was having too much fun when they were animating that shit.
Oh, yeah. They punched an actual kid. They put a kid in one of those suits and punched the hell
And
out
he
of him.
just slams his head.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I could see it going that way. I do think that they're going to, in this season 2, try to split it a little bit more than that, though, and try to show more of Abby's side, too, just to get a little bit of, like, she's not just the bad guy.
Right.
You know, like, there's some underlying thing.
Right.
And there's rumor that they're going to do a little bit of that with the Seraphites and show, like, son and daughter situation with the Seraphite and be like, these people are psycho, but we're kind of psycho too. You know,
Right.
like, show the comparison of, like, what love, the destruction of love is the main, like, destructive nature of love is what the theme is supposed to be. So
The destructive nature of revenge was the underlying theme of the second game.
yeah. So I think it makes sense that that's the way they're going to go. And they're adding Joe Pantaleone. So
Joey Pants.
he's apparently going to be playing a character that's mentioned in part 2 but never shown.
Yeah, and okay, so the thing is, you know, they dedicated an entire Emmy-nominated episode to two characters that were kind of offhanded. Well, one character was alive and one character offhandedly mentioned. So to flesh them out and have this beautiful story told about them, there's no way that they don't go back and go, like, we need to do that again.
Yeah. We can go derper. We can go
derper.
We can go far derper.
Always go derper.
Yeah.
So that's very clearly what they have to do.
Agreed. So that, you know, things like that have me most excited because, like you were saying before with the Disney remakes, like, to me, there's no point unless you haven't played the game or watched the original movie. If we're talking about the Disney movies, like, to watch something that is a shot-for-shot remake.
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
Like, sure, it's cool to see that in live action, but I don't need that. You know, like...
It's one thing to take something from the page and make it shot for shot. It's another thing to have something that you can already watch and then make that shot for shot. It's like, well, why wouldn't I just watch the thing I already watched?
I would dare
1,000
say
times?
there is no shot when you're reading a book. So it's like, that makes way more sense than doing it from a video game, which nowadays is essentially a playable movie.
Yeah. So what I mean, you know, and like, okay, so to that point, like the Until Dawn movie that's coming out.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, what are we going to... Part of the charm of Until Dawn is you get to make the choices, and the choices that you make affect all the characters, affect your outcome.
It's a playable movie.
Yeah, that's the whole... And I think that, like, studios don't really understand that when you... Like, remaking or making a TV show out of The Last of Us is one thing. It's a narrative game. You can only really do so much. You have to play the narrative that they've written.
Yeah.
In a game like Until Dawn, in a game like, I don't know, even Red Dead to a lesser extent, because there's so many side missions that you can do to kind of like flesh out the story. There's so many options to go, this is how I want this narrative to go. And so studios don't really seem to understand that part of the charm of video games is I made this choice.
Yeah. Or like a Mass Effect.
Mass Effect is a great example.
If they would ever make a Mass Effect movie, it loses some of what it inherently makes
most
it special.
of what it makes
Yeah.
what makes it special.
It's like, okay,
because this character is like, I made these choices And now I have to deal with that.
Yeah.
The Fallout thing was actually, it's really well done because they
Yeah.
kind of eschewed that completely
Yeah.
and told a really well done story. But even that, to an extent, is like Fallout's charm is that I made these choices.
Sure.
I killed this character or didn't kill this character.
Well, it's
or-
clear. The difference is it's clear that the Fallout showrunners had a story to tell. And the fun is it's almost like watching somebody play Fallout.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
It's like
yes.
they're making choices.
Right, right.
And it's like, okay, how will this character turn out?
And you know why I think that works is because they didn't use established characters
Right.
to tell the story.
Yeah.
So using Joel, using John Marston or Arthur, using those characters that we played through is a bad choice, I think. Telling a story within that universe is not as, there's no consequences
Sure.
there. You can just be like this is happening within and all those hallmarks that you loved, we're going to put in there. Same thing that was the biggest problem with the Master Chief thing. I was going to say Hollow. There's a beer called Hollow
Hollow
at Redlight,
Hollow.
and now I can't say Halo without
Yeah.
saying Hollow. The Halo show, if the story was about just one of the soldiers and
Yeah.
not Master Chief himself, I guarantee you would not have these same criticisms.
Sure.
I guarantee I would put my fucking life savings that people would be going, when are we going to see Master Chief? And all the stuff about him removing his helmet and all the people going
Showing
like,
his
Master
butt.
Chief wouldn't do right.
Master Cheeks.
And all the people going like, Master Chief wouldn't do that, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is not my Master Chief.
Yeah.
You're right. It's a new guy, completely
Yeah.
separated
You
from
don't
the
know
thing
him.
that you love. You don't know this guy.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's set in the Halo universe, and all these things that are happening, they're happening outside of the thing that you played. I guarantee you.
Make him a legend.
You wouldn't have the
you know,
same
like,
fucking problems.
Just make him this hero that you don't ever see, or you see in like flashes, and that's it.
Yeah. But these studios, they can't help themselves.
No.
They're like, the reason that you love this thing is because you get to play this character. Now watch us cast him as this person and that and do this.
Master
You
Chief
know,
is like a Super Mario, right?
I mean, even
How are we gonna do a Mario movie without Mario?
even Pedro Pascal, love him to death, but like, I think he embodies Joel
Yeah.
as a character. I don't think he looks that much like him.
No, of course not.
You know?
But what I appreciate with Last of Us, the show and the game itself, is like they made a clear delineation between the two, and
Yeah.
and they made it obvious to people and fans, like, these are two different things.
Right.
Like lore will be different. We're gonna change things for this story that maybe wouldn't work. I mean, that was a major controversy when they cast Caitlin Dever for Abby.
Abby.
And
You're going to get her name.
someday. Not today. But in reading some of the speculation as to why they chose her, and I'm sure, they always do a podcast that goes with episode to episode where
Yeah.
they explain a little bit more behind the scenes. But I get the feeling this is true. There's speculation that they wanted to pick an actor who is similar in size, in look, in kind of embodiment as Bella Ramsey.
Yeah.
So makes perfect sense why you would pick an actor that's not super buff and huge, Like, that would be distracting, and it wouldn't make sense for the story they're trying to tell.
Right.
Sure, it's not one-to-one with the game, but it doesn't need to be.
Well, and speaking of Bella Ramsey, that was the main criticism of her. Them. Apologies.
Yes.
When they were cast, and if you watched that first season and you didn't think that they did a good job,
Oh, my God.
I don't even know what to tell you. If you're still hung up on the fact that like you can't beat off to the 14-year-old character, but that's
Jesus
what it is,
Christ.
dog. That's what it is. These fucking perverts, they act like they want her to be one-to-one with the video game character, but it's really that they're fucking attracted to her. That's what it is. They're fucking weird. I see it online all the time.
Yeah.
Where they're like, she's not as beautiful, she doesn't really match the characters, and it's like, you're not talking about the spirit of the character because Bella Ramsey nailed it.
Oh, yeah.
As an actor, they nailed it.
Yeah.
So It's because you don't find Bella Ramsey attractive. That's what it is.
It's the whole like the Twitter guy Grums, that entire argument.
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, we can't have boobs in video games anymore.
Right. And I'm sorry if that came off as like super shocking in the middle of this conversation.
A little
But
shocking.
that's the long and short of it. They want to pretend like it's bad casting because they don't look like Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie is a 14-year-old girl. You shouldn't be concerned with them looking. You should be concerned with, does Bella nail the essence of the character? And I would argue that they do 10 times over.
Yeah.
I think that they were casted perfectly.
Yes.
And so what do you, they're still ups. I see, and I'm not even bringing
Not
this on.
sexy enough.
Right. But honestly, I see like these weird TikTok edits of people being like, it should have been like this cosplayer does a really good cosplay of Ellie, and they were like, it should have been her, or the homegirl from Alien Romulus.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people have fan casted her.
Kaylee Spinney. Right?
Spaney, yeah.
Spaney?
A lot of people have fan casted her.
Yeah.
But I think number one, I think she's too old. I think she's in like her mid-20s.
At this point, yeah, for sure. I mean, I think she would have worked for part 2.
Yeah.
Because she's supposed to be like in her early 20s at that point.
Yeah. No, I think she's like 18 or 19 in the second one. Yeah.
She could pull off.
She probably could.
But not as a 14-year-old girl.
Right. My point stands that
Yeah.
this is supposed to be like a naive,
A baby.
yeah, not a person that you should be looking at in that way at all.
No,
so
sir.
to be like upset that they're not as cute as the video game character is weird.
Well, you see that? Yeah. God, you saw that response with the expansion in the video game itself, where it's made even more obvious that Ellie's a lesbian.
Right. And they're mad.
Yeah.
They're upset.
Oh, you ruined the character.
You took her from us.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, what's wrong with y'all, bro? What is wrong with y'all? You fucking weirdos.
Touch some grass. For the love of God.
Touch some adult ass.
Yes, please. Consensually.
Consensually. Yeah,
Consensually.
Please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
So, I think that the casting of what's her name? Caitlin
Dever, yeah.
People are going to be upset about that because, again, she doesn't look like Abby the way that they want her to look like Abby. But like you just said,
The opposite.
You think she does look like her?
No. I think that people are happy with that casting because she's not this
right,
super
right. People
like,
were upset that she
buff
was too buff, and they were like,
woman.
I can't have sex with her. Like,
This is
she's too
unrealistic. There's no way she'd have enough protein.
buff." Yeah. Yeah, I saw that. That's so stupid. People are like, there's no.
It takes
she
me-
would be malnourished in an apocalypse.
It takes
How
me
could
out of
she
the
be
story.
so buff? And yet they are perfectly fine with like a 55-year-old man beating the shit out of like multiple trained.
Sure. Monsters.
They're fine with that.
Monsters.
But this woman being like, there's no way she could be doing push-ups
Not that much.
and this is in this encampment where, by the way, if you've played the game, like they were doing pretty well. They had
were doing
medical supplies, they had
fine.
food, they had farms,
They
had
doing
an
fine.
entire society.
Yes.
So it is perfectly plausible
Yeah.
for her to have been like, you know what I'm gonna spend my time doing fucking pull-ups
Yeah.
and push-ups, and I'm gonna get fucking beefy
And
because
you know
I
what?
got revenge
I
on
was
my
gonna say,
mind.
she had motivation to
Yeah,
do so.
yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
If all I was
as a
thinking was
character.
like, I'm going after the dudes that
it's like
killed
you're
my
in
dad.
prison, just like
Yeah, I can't wait to get out because I'm getting my ops back.
Yeah.
I can't wait. The second I get released, I'm coming right back in because
Yeah.
I'm offing all these motherfuckers.
right. And she's going on these little excursions outside of the encampment.
Right, so
she needs
she
to defend
needs to
herself.
be- yeah.
There's psychos out there.
Right.
There's these monsters. Like, of course.
Right.
Why wouldn't you?
Right. In fact, Ellie should be more beefy.
Yeah.
If we're being for real, like there's no way that
She's a little
that
stringy.
She would get her ass handed.
She's
the
a little
fact that
stringy.
like you play the game and she does all of this like ungodly shit. Honestly, one dude gets a fucking hand on her neck and they just lift her up and just fucking bring her down. And that's it. Game over. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah.
So
They do, play with that a little bit where she's not as physically strong. You have to sneak around more.
Right.
And
You
she-
can't just straight up go 1-to-1,
No.
1-on-1 rather. With
And she
with
uses her
Abby. She
knife a
will beat
lot.
the shit out of you. Yeah.
So
The second you run up on her, it's like it's over.
yeah,
You're done.
Yeah.
Which I thought was an interesting boss battle, but I also kind of was like, I could beat her.
It's Timothy Chalamet all over again.
Just give me a chance. I could beat her. Well, it's not Timothy Chalamet all over again because I will beat the shit out of Timothy Chalamet. That is, I don't know why that like people think that that's a thing that I will rock his world and not in a good way.
You know, I looked it up because I was curious, like if he was actually like, you know, 6'6",
Like trained fighter.
No,
or
if he was actually like really really tall. Surprisingly,
what is he?
he's not. He's
What's
like,
his stats? Give me his stats.
I think he's like. Okay, I'm gonna look it up now.
Okay, look it up. Look it up
now.
Because if he's like 5'8", $175, I'll DDT him.
Soaking wet.
Easily. German suplex, 1, 2, 3. It's over. There's no shot.
All right,
If I just get my hands on him.
Timothy Chalamet. He's 29 years old currently.
Okay, so he's not even that much younger than me. So he's not even like super spry. You know what I'm saying? Like if he was 18 or 19, I'd be like, all right, he's got energy on his side. But he doesn't. He's 29. He's going to be 30. What else? What do we got?
He's 5'10".
5'10". So we're the same height.
There you go.
The same height.
I was disappointed here because I was hoping he was gonna be like 6'6" again.
So we're the same height. And he's what? I'd venture to guess, looking at him, 165.
Okay, so I don't have his current weight, but I do have. Apparently, this was in the news about his. He actually had to lose weight to play Bob Dylan
Okay.
because Bob Dylan's a very svelte man.
Right.
Always has been.
Right. I mean, I'm sure at this point he's put the weight back on.
He surely has. But do you know what? You want to know, just for frame of reference, how low he got to play Bob Dylan?
Yeah, please tell me.
120 pounds.
120 pounds at 5'10"
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's so small. Okay, so all right. So he got down to 110 in a healthy way.
I'm sorry. In Beautiful Boy.
Oh,
Not
okay.
Bob Dylan.
So that was years ago.
That was years ago.
That was years ago.
But he was still 5'10".
Yeah, he's still, yeah, right.
He was an
right. He was still
adult.
5'10". Yeah. So he got down to 110 in Beautiful Boy.
120.
120, sorry. Okay. So let's say if he had to lose a bunch of weight for a movie role, yeah, I'm sticking by like 165, 170 is his weight.
He gained 20 pounds to play Bob Dylan, actually.
Strange.
Yeah.
Why would he need to gain weight to play Bob Dylan? So that means his walking around weight is even less. So I'd say I'd go 150. 145 is his walking around weight.
Probably.
I mean, if he's like low body fat, he probably lost a shit ton of body fat to play in Dune, right?
Yeah.
He probably
Oh,
lost
yeah.
a shit ton of body fat.
And I'm sure, he trained and stuff.
Yeah.
So he, probably got a little muscle on him.
but he trained to make the shit look good. I trained because I'm scared to fight people in real life. You know what I'm saying? So I trained
Sure.
because I don't want to die.
Right,
He
right.
trained to make the shit look good.
Yeah.
So I'm ready to gouge his eyes out. You know what I'm saying? Like Krav
trained-
Maga shit.
He trained to knife fight
Like grab his tongue and like.
through the hollow shield.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take a fucking spiked hammer and put his tongue on the dresser and bang! You know what I'm saying?
Keep feeding
Yeah,
you.
saw his
feeding
asshole
you,
close.
Feeding you.
I'll just put your nuts, just your nuts.
Just is he dead? What do you mean is he
What do you mean
fucking
he's
dead?
Fucking dead. He's laying there with like a newborn
fucking baby. Oh, is he dead?
Is he dead? All right, okay.
Listen to more Wu-Tang if you don't
See
get
me
those.
in them streets, Timothy Chalamet. I'll fuck your ass up, okay?
That's not a real threat. Don't
It's
sue us.
absolutely a real
Don't
threat.
sue us. We love
It's a
you.
real threat.
We've expressed how much
That is
we
a
love
real
you.
threat. I mean, not a threat of like violence that you're not prepared for. I want to see you in Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat. All right. Let's finish this
Please.
as they do in Mortal Kombat.
As you
with a fatality.
as you would to Timothy Chalamet.
Let's move right along to the cheers of the week. You want to start us off, Obi?
I would love to.
Please do.
My cheers of the week. Give me a
Oh,
clink.
sorry.
Clink me up. Is going to Mickey 17. So, Sherry and I went to go see Mickey 17 the latest movie from Bong Joon-ho,
Bong Joon-ho.
famous Korean director, famous for the Academy Award winning Parasite. But this was another one of his English language movies, of which he's done, I think, 3 total. But
Well, what else has he done?
the one about the giant hippo thing, Aku, huh? What's it?
Fried okra.
Oka. It's
The Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Is he in that? Jake
he's in that.
Gyllenhaal's
He's in that,
right?
Yeah. Oka, I think.
I
It's
didn't know
called.
that was Jong Boon-ho. I didn't know.
Yes, I think it was a Netflix movie, wasn't
that.
it?
It is a Netflix
Yeah.
movie. I don't really watch Netflix movies.
Yeah,
So
me neither.
even the ones like there's that heist movie with like a bunch of actors I like, and even that I haven't watched. With Oscar Isaac and I think Affleck's in it. And,
I forgot about that.
yeah. Even that I was like, eh.
Yeah, same.
It's just got that. What the fuck was that?
It's got that Netflix stank on
It's got
it.
that Netflix stank on it.
Not in the good way.
Really.
But that, and I think he did another one before that one. But all that to say, Mickey 17 is a fantastic movie that you should go see.
Yeah.
I think Robert Pattinson is just continuing, a lot like Timothée Chalamet has, to show that he is one of the best actors currently doing it.
I think, for the record, Robert Pattinson would be a formidable opponent.
Yeah.
I still think I could take him,
Yeah.
but I think he would be more formidable than Timothée Chalamet.
Well, you know, I think he did more and more effective training for the Batman.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I'm really just kind of judging on size alone.
Okay.
Because in my experience, my very limited fighting experience, I could just kind of feel like if...
Sheer mass is enough to
Well,
swallow a man up.
a lot of times...
Pause.
Yeah. A lot of times you get into a situation and unless if it's two people who don't know how to fight that much,
Yeah.
then
It's
you're-
just swanging.
It's So, and I feel like I know how to fight.
Okay.
So I feel like if I fight somebody who also knows how to fight, then we're both on like a even playing field as far as like fight skills.
Yeah.
So then yes, now it's like mass. Okay.
I will tell you, most men think they know how to fight.
Yeah, all right, but I think I know how to fight.
Okay.
I think there's people who think they know how to fight, and
Yeah.
I think I know how to fight.
Okay.
I haven't been in a lot of fights,
Okay.
but I have been in
Watched
fights.
a lot of fights.
No, I've been in fights. Okay.
Yeah.
Not in my adult life. I will say
Sure.
I haven't fought anybody as an adult.
It's been a while.
It's been a while, and yeah. So I'll just divulge that
These
little bit.
bricks
of
ain't throwing like they used to.
Right. But I kind of still feel like they're throwing enough.
Yeah.
I feel like here's my thing. I feel pretty confident
Okay.
that in a fight, if it's somebody like Timothée Chalamet, for instance, he's probably like popping around, he's probably like ducking, and he's
yeah.
probably got a lot of bobbing, weaving. I'm sure he's got like really good head movement.
Probably got a fast jab.
Yeah, somebody's pop, and he's probably like breaking through my defense and everything.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm gonna feel those tomorrow morning. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Sure,
bop,
sure.
and he's snapping
Yeah.
my head back.
Yeah.
But I feel like if there's at any moment where I catch him with one of these left hooks, it's over. It's a liver shot.
It's like the kid in Last of Us Part 2.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just boom, his head rocks against a wall and he's
He's
done.
down.
And everyone's like, Jesus Christ. And maybe my eye is all swell up to the point that I can't see.
Yeah.
But he's down and I'm still standing. That's how I feel it goes.
Fair enough.
So
Fair enough.
I'm not the dude that he offs in the first Dune. You know, I just grab him.
Okay.
And they're like, what are you doing? And he just
by
starts
his
choking him.
head.
Just like, wait, that's not how you fight. And you just
Hit him with the Bart.
That's how I feel it goes down. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying. And with
Okay.
Robert Pattinson, I feel like he's bigger.
I think
so
he
it's a
is
little
bigger.
bit. It's a little tougher of a fight.
He looks like a bigger guy.
Yeah.
Not a big guy.
Yeah.
He's still, thin and svelte and, all that. But I think he looks like his frame is bigger.
I think it really falls down to training. I really do. I really think that like the more you've been trained to fight, the more you understand body movement, the more like muscle memory you have, and like when you're not trained, you do dumb stuff. That's the reason that most people lose fights. Is they do dumb things
point
because
of
they
training,
don't know.
yeah.
Right, exactly. But I think that once you kind of, if you've trained yourself enough, I'm not saying I'm Goku or anything. This is gonna sound really, really arrogant. this whole bit is gonna be like, who the fuck does this guy think he is?
I was letting you go.
All I'm saying is, I feel like I have pretty decent muscle memory. I'm not saying I'm a world beater. You know what I'm saying? Pause. I'm saying that in certain situations, I have trained myself enough, and I've been trained. You know, I boxed.
Yeah.
I did jujitsu.
Right.
I did karate.
Uh-huh.
Although the karate thing was was
Karate.
childish.
Yeah, but that's foundation.
But it was a little foundation.
Yeah, you
I
learn how to
feel
throw a
like
punch, throw a
I have
kick.
enough foundational knowledge that, like, if I got into a fight with somebody,
Yeah.
this is really going on way too long. I feel like if I got into a fight with somebody, I would be ready enough.
Uh-huh.
There would be enough muscle memory that I would know to at least
Defend yourself.
put my hands up and block punches at the very, because
Yeah.
that's number one. People just go, all right, let's fight. And then you start doing this move, and then you start reaching your head back because you don't want to get punched. And instead of like putting your arms up, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just stuff like that. I would be ready for that. That's all I'm saying.
That's always the funniest thing in street fights. Like they do the head back
the
and
lean,
these.
the lean, and this, and you're like, just get in there, man.
Yeah.
Get in there. And I just kind of, what's up? What? Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
Okay. My cheers of the week goes to Mickey 17.
right. Mickey 17.
Yeah. I thought this was an excellent movie and a lot of fun and really unique. And it's unfortunately not going to be seen by enough people. But I'm glad it was made. And I hope, like, all I've been doing this week is basically, like, trying to get people to watch this movie. So this is what I'm doing right now. If you're listening, go watch Mickey 17 in theaters. I think if you want, like, to continue to influence these major studios, such as WB, which is what this movie's from, you gotta support them, and this movie deserves your support, and it is great. And I think a movie that is perfect for these times, politically and socially. Huh? Mark Ruffalo, a standout, as always. Great comedic performance. And, everyone top to bottom did a great job in this movie. And it's a unique, dark, sci-fi comedy that you should go see.
Beautiful.
That's all I got to say.
All right. If that doesn't make you want to go see the movie, I don't know what will. You know?
Yeah.
I'm actually genuinely surprised because the first time that I saw a trailer for it, I was like, that looks great.
Yeah.
And everybody involved made me think, oh, okay, this has no choice but being good.
Yeah.
So it is really interesting to see that it's having this weird life in theaters.
I don't think it was marketed well. Like, it didn't have that, like, spread that it should have for being, like, a major studio movie.
Yeah.
And I think, honestly, it was the fact that it's I'm using air quotes, foreign director, even though he's coming off of, like, his most acclaimed movie yet, an Academy Award winner.
Yeah. I don't think they leaned into that enough.
They didn't at all. Like, I don't know what WB is doing over there, but they're not doing anything good.
Well, maybe that was his choice. Maybe he didn't want it. I mean, you would think that, like, it's an easy sell. Academy. This guy's last movie won the Oscar for Best Movie of the Year.
Yeah.
And now he's got a movie with Batman. What more do you want?
Right.
Like, it sells itself.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. I don't understand either. Especially after watching it, I think it's great and one of the most interesting movies I'm sure I'll see this year. So,
Do you have the Regal Pass?
no,
I'm really surprised you don't have
But
the
I would
Regal
love it.
Pass. I think I'm gonna get it this year.
Yeah.
I think I'm not gonna. I don't think this year's the year where I'm gonna be like, no, I didn't see it. I think I want to watch more movies.
I'll tell you what. If you get it, I'll get it.
Okay.
And we can stay up to date with the the Oscar contenders.
Yeah. Then we can have a real Oscar discussion.
Real convo.
Real Oscar pool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Okay.
My cheers of the week is going to Redlight.
Oh. I know that place.
Yeah. The place I work.
Yes.
The place that I have worked for years. The place that I drink. The place that you drink.
Yeah. The place I've had drinks for years.
20 years. 20 years this place has been open. They just celebrated their anniversary. Although I think the real anniversary is in June. I think we like pushed it up a little bit, kind of just take advantage. I think, yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. I think I kind of said a little something before I performed, but basically, it's a place that changed my life.
Yeah.
And forever grateful for everybody that I've met, everybody that I've worked with. I mean, it's literally changed the trajectory of where I thought my life was going to go. And I'm a different person because I work there.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was our formidable years going to that place.
Oh, yeah.
Birthdays that we've celebrated there. Unemployment that we've wallowed
Spent
in there.
Yeah.
Breakups that we've gone
Drowned
there,
ourselves there.
You know,
yeah.
it's been the place that has you know, nurtured all of our trauma.
Yes.
And
successes.
has fueled all all of our successes.
Yes,
So
yes.
I hope for 20 more and 20 more after that,
Yes.
until Brent doesn't want to do it anymore.
Sure.
And
Then he can give it to you.
then he can give it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think he'll give it to one of his kids. Those kids. But we did the 20th anniversary party. I got to perform. Brent asked me to perform along with a bunch of bands who had either performed there before or people that he knew personally. So it was a really good show. It was a really good turnout. So thank you everybody who showed up. And if you're interested, you can go on my Instagram. You can see some of the pictures and video from one of the performances. Or go to Redlight's page. You'll see some stuff on there. You know, it's not everything, but it's some stuff.
Sure.
And if you're local, bring your ass out to
Yeah,
Redlight.
come
What are
on
you doing?
in.
What are you doing? All right?
All right.
All right. So, before we get out of here, we got one last thing to do, and you know what it is. It is a review of these brewskis. So, tonight's brew was from Magnanimous Brewing. It's the Before the Rain. Double dry hopped, double IPA. Obi, what'd you think?
I need to make a correction.
Uh-oh.
ABV is in small print.
Oh, look at
on
that.
the
It's
back.
right there.
So
Look at
apologies to Magnanimous. I misspoke. However, I really enjoyed this beer. You know, I got to be honest. I was waiting on pins and needles for us to get to this one because
Yeah.
we got it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah. From Redlight, by the way.
From Redlight. And I've been excited ever since because this seems right up my alley, and lo and behold, it was.
Boy, howdy.
Yeah, very hazy, a little stinky, but very delicious. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 6 bottle caps.
Yep.
It's right up my alley.
Right up my alley. Right up her alley.
It didn't change my life, so I won't give it a 6. But I think this is a fantastic double dry hopped double IPA. Check it out.
Agreed. I'm also going to give it a 5. I was very, very surprised at how much I enjoyed this. Hoppy, kind of sweet, kind of juicy. Obviously very hazy if you're
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah.
If you're not watching, get it for yourself and see. But it's a really, really well made. I think I'm a fan of the dry hopped IPAs because every time we get one, I'm like, man, that's nice. It's pretty good. It's real nice. So a 5 out of 6.
Unanimous for Magnanimous.
Unanimous for Magnanimous. You think we got it?
I know we got it.
Well, if Obi says we got it, this episode's over. This has been the One Beer In podcast for myself, Marco Dupa, for Adam Obesius Rodriguez.
Watch Mickey 17.
Thank you guys for listening. Drink delicious beer and have yourself a beautiful evening.
We love you.
I kept up with it.
Love